Good afternoon, Pleasant Valley families. Today we'd like to take this message, now that we have completed our second week of school, to share with you what has transpired over the last 2 weeks regarding COVID. But before I do that, I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to our students, thank you to our staff, and thank you to all of you for what you have done to help keep Pleasant Valley safe. You know, over the last 2 weeks, it has been exciting to be in classrooms, to see the excitement of kids in the hallways, excited to learn, and also willing to follow all the health and safety expectations that we have put in place. Because of those measures, we have had 2 very successful weeks of school. And what do I mean by successful? Where I want to go with this is the number of COVID cases that we have had in our district over the last 2 weeks. It is quite possible you may have saw the news, the newspaper, where it has been listed. Well, I want to make sure we are transparent with where we are today. And I will start by saying, with guidance from the United States Department of Education and making sure we are following all FERPA laws, and FERPA being the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, we are making sure that we are only sharing the number of individual cases we have across the district, that is PK through 12. Their guidance is not to break this down by building or by individuals. So therefore, what we will say as of today, over the first 2 weeks, we have had 4 positive cases in our district. Well, the question might be, what happens when you have a positive case, and what is the communication? Because you may not have heard about these cases possibly. What transpires is this: if we have a positive case in a building, we will send one of 2 letters to families. The first letter would be if your child has come in direct contact, which is that 6-foot distance for more than 15 minutes, you would get a contact letter explaining to you that you will need to quarantine your child for 14 days. In addition, there is a strong chance you have received a phone call from the health department due to the contact exposure tracing interview. The second letter you might receive would be for those who are in the classroom but not contact exposed or in that bubble. That letter will just simply state that your child is in a classroom where someone tested positive. If you do not have a child in that classroom, or a child who has not been exposed, you would not receive a letter. And the reason being is we are saying that we do not want to alarm you or do not need to notify you because there is no direct exposure or your child being involved in that case. So please know there might be a positive case in your building that your child attends, but you will only get notification should there be one of those 2 situations. Second of all, going back to contact exposure, it is very important to know that when we're looking at contact exposure, if your child is in school, we send a letter to you. You could also receive a letter for contact exposure that occurs outside of school. So it is very important, especially going into Labor Day weekend, that what are your children doing outside of school, whether that be at night, on a weekend, to keep our buildings safe. You know, going back to the process with the health department, we talked about contact tracing with the health department and what that looks like. Please understand, their most complimentary thing to us right now for our district is that we have been maintaining 6-foot distancing in our classroom. Because of that, that decreases the exposure risk in our classrooms. We keep reminding our students of that and our staff of that. The other thing I would want to talk about today is symptoms. To keep us safe, it's very important to remember, if your child wakes up in the morning with 2 of the low risk or 1 of the high risk symptoms, we ask that you keep your child home for that day and contact your doctor, because your doctor will give you 1 of 2 pieces of information. They may ask you to come in and get tested, or they may give you an alternate diagnosis. Upon either one of those 2 things, once your children's symptoms are gone, they can return to school. But again, it is so important that we keep everybody safe during this time. We have done a wonderful job the last 2 weeks. Let's continue this. As you recall in one of our past video messages, our 3rd goal was to open school and to remain open. That is our goal, and we will continue to do so. In terms of the tracing and information that we will share, as I said earlier with the 4 people, we will update that on our website on a weekly basis. So next Friday, we'll put that on our COVID page. Again, it'll be listed by individuals, and at the PK through 12 level, just so you are aware of the number of cases in our district. As we head into Labor Day, please have a safe weekend. Enjoy this. As a community, we will rise up together and keep everybody safe and our schools open. Have a great day.